Friends, how are you doing? I hope everyone is well. It is August 2nd. We're in August now. We've got a crazy week of earnings coming. Obviously, Monday is the day. Monday is the day with Palantir. Now, obviously, I may talk about Big Bear a little more tomorrow, SoundHound, other quarterlies coming up here, situations that are unraveling before us. But Palantir, I specifically want to talk about right now because there's news going on with Palantir. There's quarterlies that are coming out here Monday with Palantir, and potentially, I am very much in the realm that I think Palantir can easily push to $200 here by Q4 to wrap up Q4 of 2025 here. Not to mention that we could be in $500 range here sooner than we think. Now, the latest situation that has occurred here, before we talk about quarterlies and price and all that, we have to talk about this. Palantir stocks as Palantir stock dips as U.S. Army revises $10 billion agreement. So essentially, there's this huge deal going on right now. And this has kind of been going on. This is kind of the thing Trump's been talking about too, where Palantir is working so much with the United States government, essentially different departments, everything that's been going on. But with all this said, the main thing to know is that either way, Palantir will be working with the United States for a long time, okay? And that is really a huge that's so big. It's amazing. That is the main bread and butter of the whole story right there. So that's just reoccurring money every quarterly, every year. That's nonstop right there. Now, I put some more stuff up here, kind of break it down. I found this article. Somebody did a fantastic job of breaking this down. $400 million in annual reoccurring revenue from the Army across contracts that include Vantage, Titan, all this stuff you put up here. You can read it. Palantir U.S. Army ARR run rate will likely grow to $600 million over the next 2 years. And that's just an estimate. It could be a lot more than that because it has been. So, right now, I think we're definitely in these talks of how much more ridiculous can this Palantir situation get? It's already been ridiculous. It's already made its own Roman road, and it's still carving out its Roman road to where it wants to go. It doesn't have to make sense at this point because it hasn't been making sense. It's been tricking and fooling a lot of every kind of investor from Wall Street itself. But now, the tide has kind of really changed. The conversation is continuing to push into this, more greener grass on the other side of the hill here, where Palantir, a lot of people just aren't betting against it because now Palantir is so engrossed here, is that the right word? Yeah, into this administration that we have before us. Now, I'm coming at this as an investor. I'm not coming at this as talking about politics and what you think and all that. That's your own business. What I'm talking about here as an investor is, hey, there is a company right now that is making a lot of money just from the United States government alone, but also has a lot of other contracts, a lot of other tentacles out there with their business and what they're offering. Not to mention they continue to work on their own software that they have. So the road to $500 here to Palantir could come sooner than we think. 2026, I think, is very, very possible, okay? If we continue doing what we're doing here with Palantir, 2027, at least by 2027, 2028, I think it'll be here before 2028. And listen, when I say $500, man, 200. I think when I say 200 now at this point, people go, "Yeah, big deal. We know Palantir's going to $200. That's not that big of a deal, guy." I get that, but for some people, maybe it is. But either way, I at this rate, what we've watched and what we continue to watch with what's going on with Palantir, $200. Of course, we're going to go to $200 here. The question is, how fast can we get to $200 here with Palantir? Because we know that Palantir, yes, they're going to continue to work with the United States government regardless. It's going to happen, and they're going to continue to have these other deals out there too. So Palantir right now, the road to $500 Looking back right now, what we've dealt with, Q3 for 2024, Palantir released that 725 million. I'm not rounding these up too much here, so there's this is just the, kind of skeleton of what was released quarterly wise. So Q3 of 2024. That was November 6th, okay? Now, if you look at that first one right there, Palantir was at $55, okay? And that was a huge push-up. We were in that 30, 40, 45 zone. People thought, well, this is obviously tops. Some of us, like me here, were yapping our mouth like, hey, we're going to 100. I was getting incredible backlash at that point. I even had a personal friend who was like, why are you telling people this? This stock is not going to $100. That's fine. But Palantir was still very much engrossed with government contracts. And this is before Trump even came into the picture of actually winning. I won't say winning. Obviously, it was pretty much sealed up at that point. But what we thought was coming here with this huge bill that just got passed here. Essentially, that's what I'm trying to get to here. But okay, let's fast forward a little more. Okay, February 2025. Okay, here we go. Now we're talking about Q4 of 2024 to seal up the whole year here. Before that quarterly, right before it, Palantir was under, it was under $100. Okay, Q4 gets released. We're skipping ahead like crazy. Okay, now we're at $827 million. Okay, now things are getting really serious. Okay, Palantir at that point, once that quarterly comes out, we push over $100. Okay, now we've achieved $100. People are still going, well, I mean, it's not going to hold that. Okay, so we push into that, and that was February here. That was February. So what happened at the end of February going into April? DeepSeek, tariff news, the market sold off. Okay. For the last time, we had Palantir at a high $60, $70, $80 range here. Getting into Q1 of 2025, which went into May, Palantir broke over $100 again, went to 110, 115, 120s. Okay. Now, I'm still yapping my mouth, with what's coming here. We're getting more, back in May here with Q1s, we're getting more of an understanding of where money is going to be spent. Palantir, Alex Karp, we're seeing Trump and Alex Karp start to, bump shoulders here. There's a lot more conversation. Palantir at this point is still getting government contracts. They're still getting contracts in general, the NATO deal, all that. Q1's released, like I said, $883 million and some change. Okay, we're jumping like crazy here. Okay, now we're Monday here. We're about to have Q2 for 2025. We could easily be right over $1 billion, if not right under $1 billion with this next quarterly. Okay, either way, this quarterly, from what we've gathered so far, is going to be really, really good. So we more than likely, we're definitely going to be in the $900 million range. That is coming. And this is why Palantir is growing so aggressively in stock price, because we're getting these. We went from 30% jumps to 35% jumps to 40% jumps, 45. Now, I mean, are we talking about 50 in the 50s? In 50 zone range of jumping here? That's crazy. This is insane stuff. So, friends, listen, with these prices too, you have to understand there's a lot of hype. Not only is Palantir jumping at such a fast stock price rate here, based off these quarterlies are so aggressive and just so aggressive. But now Palantir is wrapped up in this whole administration. In this administration, one of their top things that they're focusing on, and this is not a political statement, this is the black and white picture of what, and of course when somebody says this is not a political statement. It's a political statement, but I don't know what else to say here. We know that Trump is spending tons of money on security, defense, AI. Palantir is all of that wrapped up in one big bubble here. So with that, Palantir stands to really at such a youthful, young position right now as it is as a company, share price, everything with it, and investors, attaching themselves to it right now have everything to gain. So $200, of course we're going to see $200. The question is, where will $200 step in here? Will it be potentially, I don't know, October, December? Okay, I seem to think it is. Personally, I think we're going to be there. And you have to think, let's just play the ridiculous card. Let's play the ridiculous card here. We're gossiping, we're talking, we're just some little schoolgirls here. We're chit-chatting, okay? Okay, Monday, Palantir comes out with quarterlies, and this is all what if. Okay, this is what if. Palantir comes out with quarterlies Monday, and they're over $1 billion, right under. We don't need much at this point. Or maybe they're just right under. Maybe they come out with a quarterly $995 million. Okay? That, it's ridiculous. Because what is it going to tell us? Well, it's going to tell us that revenue for the whole year is going to completely be raised again. FOMO will set in even more. The feeding frenzy will continue. Not to mention that we know that this deal that we're even talking about, this government situation, this is still ongoing. That will easily bleed into Q3, Q4 for the rest of the year. We could be well into $1.5 billion quarterly range by Q4, if not sooner. This is why Dan Ives is on national television saying Palantir is going to $1 trillion market cap, okay? This is why this guy is putting his face out there. He has been doing it, saying that Palantir is going to easily be in the $1 trillion market cap. Friends, in a year time, or even a year and a half more, we could be talking about Palantir, well be a $500 stock. And two, maybe we could be talking about stock splits here in the near future. This is how aggressive the situation is. Listen, people are going to have life-changing money on this. This is a situation that you need to, you want to make sure going into the future that you have 5 shares, 10 shares, 20 shares, as many shares as you can probably get at this point with Palantir. It's a real situation. And, don't think of this, man, I'm thinking so broad here right now with Palantir. This is investing for the long term to really be a part of this. So if you're thinking like, well, man, I can't afford like 1 share of Palantir, how am I going to get a part of this? Friends, think about it this way. And I understand everyone is in different price zones with how much they can afford. I get it. If you have 1 share of Palantir, man, you're in it. Feel good about that. If you got 10, 20, 30, 100, 1,000, man, that's awesome. But, right now, think about Palantir going into a stock split, let's say a year and a half from now. Let's push it out 2 years, okay? You hold that. You whatever you're holding now, it gets doubled, it gets tripled with whatever the stock split would be, 3 to 1, 2 to 1, 4 to 1, I don't know how hard they would go on it. Okay, well then you hold Palantir for another handful of years. Maybe there's another stock split. Just because companies have 1 stock split, it doesn't mean that they're done. Or I love this comment when people say, well, just because you have a stock split doesn't mean you get more money. It doesn't mean you make more money. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does mean you make more money, because if you hold the share and Palantir continues to do well, continues to be an aggressive company, aggressive stock, yeah, you're gonna make more money. Now, obviously, too, you'll be able, depending on how many shares you're holding and how many more you received, you'll be able to maybe take some profit. Take that, cash it out, put it in something else. do what you want to do, or just leave it. Who knows? That's a road we haven't gotten into yet. But yeah, it means you're going to make more money. You're an investor. You make more money in the long run. So this is how people become rich. You have to see, this is how people become very wealthy. This is how people build these portfolios in such a short time compared to somebody who is working a job for 30 years and making a 401k or Roth IRA for a lengthy amount of time, to where in a short amount of time with buying into something like Palantir, you can make a small retirement, okay? A big chunk of money. This is reality. This is not, listen, I have nothing to sell you. I'm not selling you a Discord. I'm not selling you a freaking membership or something. I'm just here in a bed away from my house, about to go outside and make burgers on a grill, and I'm about 2 cups of coffee deep, about to get another one here. My blood's pumping here. I have nothing to sell you. I'm just excited, man. I'm telling you, this is how you, me, all of us, we get stupid wealthy in this market. It doesn't get much more simpler. It really doesn't. And for the people in here, like, and I say this because people have already, I've seen the comments, and I get it. It's fine. People are going to be in here like Palantir's evil company, Alex Karp, this, that. That's fine, man. Maybe this isn't for you. You can go invest in Home Depot. You can go invest in Apple. They're doing great numbers. I encourage you to. But some of us, hey, we're gonna invest in Palantir. We're gonna take this roller coaster ride to the next dip, all the way up the hill to the top where we haven't been yet. Okay, this is where we're going with it. So I don't, man. I like I said, I'm not trying to sell you something, friends. I'm not forcing you to buy this stuff, okay? I wasn't forcing you to buy this at 30, 40, 50 bucks, back this time last year, okay? But what I can tell you is I'm excited. I'm such a nerd with what is going on over here with all of this, with this, where the money is going to be spent with this big bill that Trump just passed, where that's going to go. The conversation too is what will Big Bear get a part of this? Will Big Bear get more of this? Will Palantir and Big Bear continue to work together? Will something like that really happen? Yeah, man. Listen, I gotta go. But I'm gonna be back tomorrow talking, and I just want to wish all of you the best of luck. I feel good about what's going on here. Be excited. When Palantir comes out with these quarterlies Monday, if they come out with another just face melting quarterly, I don't be surprised to see Palantir maybe have a sell off at first. People will take profit, but I do believe that Palantir stands all of the might and power to run into high 160s and start to chip away at 170. If we get in the 170s here by the end of August going into September, 200 is coming before you know it. It's that simple. It is that simple, I guarantee you. Friends, I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.